Another technical glitch strikes, and we're back.
All right, happy Monday, everybody.
Yes. The Prodigy Lifetime theme song. So, we're off to the races today once again. Happy birthday to my wife.
Happy birthday, Giselle.
It's the second go round at this, so if you missed the first part of the live, this is our second go at it. It's a technical glitch.
This won't be a better one.
Yes.
We'll be all right.
We'll be dishing out punishments later.
Yeah.
And, oh goodness. So anyway, we have a couple of good topics today. This is a really good one we talk about a lot.
Yeah.
And
very serious topic, actually.
And something that people don't quite realize when it comes to real estate and technology. Real estate technology is something that's kind of very interwoven more and more lately than ever, right? So you have a lot of things involving real estate transactions, and the technical glitches, just like we just had, could cause you some grief. So why don't we get into some of those technical glitches, and what we're going to be talking about is your Ring camera.
Let's start with the Ring camera.
So the Ring, so you know something about privacy laws and things like that.
Yeah, I used to work for the city. I was an investigator with DOI, so I used to do surveillance. I used to install wiretaps, so I know the law. New York happens to be a one-party state, right? Okay? So if you and I having a conversation, I could record the conversation because I'm a party to the conversation. I don't have to notify you.
Right.
However, if you and I are talking and somebody else wants to listen in, that's a third party. That's called eavesdropping. That's illegal.
Right.
And what happens is, now let's bring the Ring camera. So the Ring camera is not just a doorbell. Now they have those floodlight cameras that are in the backyard.
Yes.
So sometimes people get comfortable either in the front door when they exit the premises or when they're in the backyard. And what do they do? They talk about the offer that they're going to put in. And sometimes the homeowner is listening in.
And the big thing is that, like, what people don't understand about Ring cameras is the little thing that you said that they mentioned is when you put a Ring camera, there's what they call is a reasonable expectation of privacy.
Correct.
So the interesting thing about this is that now somebody's going to say, well, it's within the confines of the house, and whatever happens in the house isn't subject to the rules of the laws outside the house, which is fundamentally not correct.
That's because of the
And somebody, believe it or not, somebody literally was commenting on this on a previous live a few weeks back is about using Ring cameras. That's why we're even discussing that. So these Ring cameras, you know, you have to realize, especially when you're conducting commerce.
Yeah.
And now we don't like to talk about real estate in terms of, like, we're not just talking about a few $1,000s here. We're talking about assets that could
hundreds of thousands,
even millions.
Even millions.
So the consequences, although there hasn't been much established, there has been a few cases involving.
Wasn't there a lawsuit?
Yeah, there was.
There was a lawsuit that somebody
yes.
sued the homeowners for using the.
Yes,
Okay.
it wasn't in New York, and it hasn't been. It hasn't arrived at the doorstep yet. But the interesting thing is, you come across people and they say, well, we hear certain things in the camera, and they're listening in on what the buyer's talking about with an agent within the house. So they'll be listening, or what they're saying at the front door, and those things can listen pretty far. From what I understand, they can listen to almost the sidewalk.
Pretty much, yes.
So it's like, if it's in the...
Within the range, there's a...
So they can listen to
10
conversations
to 15 feet.
that are otherwise be privy, and the process of cause of actions, and we can't get into every legal definition because we're not lawyers. I want to disclose that off the bat.
Yeah, we're not.
This doesn't constitute legal advice, but it is just a highlight of what you really do need to know when it comes to these Ring cameras and actually being in jeopardy of causing some.
So the advice I am going to give to buyers and sellers. To buyers, if you are going to put an offer in, or you're going to discuss what you're going to put down, have that conversation when you exit the premises. Go inside the car, talk to the realtor in their office, in the car. Don't do it in the backyard.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people This happens all the time. They love the house. They walk outside. They start talking outside on the sidewalk in front of the house. You know, look at the house. Oh, we can change the color of the living room. They start discussing about the house. And then they say to the realtor, well, I want to put X amount of money. And people can hear that.
Right.
For homeowners, if you have the Ring cameras, don't do it. It's illegal. Don't listen in on those conversations.
You don't get to leave. It's too tempting.
As tempting as it may be, you could be held liable for that. And again, it's not legal advice, but that's just...
Yeah, so, again, there's a general sense of no one being in the house. There's an expectation.
So there's an expectation of privacy. They think they're alone, so that's what
and
they're
it's,
discussing.
believe it or not, there has been, there's been incidents where these instruments have been used during, like, family parties. I read an incident about Ring and an Amazon, like, Echo system that literally someone was talking bad about somebody at a party, and actually, like, it brought up, like, what is it with these cameras, like, with all the surveillance stuff we have on, how these things could be used.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, they overheard, like, something like a family member discussing them with somebody else, and it's like, it became like a big...
A Budel.
Yeah, and it was like, even family, so yeah, I've seen these things, and, but it is important that, when you get the funny thing is, nobody reads the terms of service on their agreement, so like when they sign up for Ring, in the terms of service, it tells you what you're not supposed to be using Ring for. And one of the things is you're not supposed to be, it'll tell you not to, it's not to be
It's
used
not for
together.
third-party conversations. It's
Right.
not for you to eavesdrop.
But they've easily done that. And
Sure.
like, who doesn't like to know? It's like, they're being talked about when they're not around.
Sure.
So reasonable. So the biggest thing is I do think to keep yourself clear of any misgivings regarding this, you should absolutely put like these Ring devices like on notice. Like you need to notify everybody that's coming into the house, especially if your house is on the market. You should disclose that there is a Ring camera. Some of the Ring cameras can be in the house as well as a doorbell. I don't think it's limited. There's several
Could
products
be indoor,
out there.
Look, if I always
The
tell my
nanny cam.
clients if they start discussing, we're gonna put it in. I signal to them to zip it. I'm gonna talk in the car.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk in the car, not inside the house, not in the front door with the Ring camera right there. You see the Ring camera.
Yeah.
So I tell them let's go in the car, come back to the office, call me on the phone. We'll discuss the offer later. Let's not discuss it in the house.
Yeah. I mean, it's
I warn, even when we're walking up to the house, I tell them, even besides discussing an offer, even, I guess, criticizing the house. Say, oh, that's dirty, that's ugly. They may be listening in and you're going to insult the homeowner.
it's
You
like
don't
kind of
wanna do
like
that. Just,
I know everybody's interested to hear what their house, what people are discussing about the house.
Correct.
It does make it intriguing.
right.
It's like anybody else who wouldn't be intrigued by the idea of knowing what they would know otherwise.
Right.
So
This technology that wasn't around back in the day, and now it's
easily could be abused and could be very, very mistaken for like just a simple, well, it's my house. I've heard this before where it's like, it's my house. I don't care what people think.
Right.
I can listen in. You can't. And the thing is, I'm going to say this is, if the person suspects that the information is being used, I just want, because Ring is a third-party provider, they do keep the recordings on servers.
They do. They share it with.
Well, the interesting thing is that it can be subpoenaed.
Of course.
So if it does go to the legal process,
They will have
you can
be liable.
go back and say, well, we assume there has to be obviously some reasonable cause, but you just assume that if you have these Ring cameras on, in your house and that information is being stored off-site, you can run into some serious problems.
Absolutely.
If, in fact, the person believes you used information that you wouldn't be otherwise privy to make a decision on a sale of a property. This is very important, folks. I can't emphasize this enough. You know, you have to disclose these Ring cameras. It can be very, very, very detrimental to, well, both parties out. From one could be a liable situation. Yeah.
It's giving people, is going to give somebody an unfair advantage, right? It's privileged information.
It's like, you know, it's like if you want to know, like people just want to know, and I get it. People definitely want to know, like, what's going on in their house when they're not around. I think that's where the profession has to take its course and make sure that, like, you keep people informed.
You can keep video, you can disable the sound, and it's fine because there is no expectation of privacy.
Right.
You know, unless it's a bathroom, of course, right? But if it's a common area, you could have, because maybe you want to keep an eye on the house for security purposes. That's fine.
Do you want to keep an eye on the house? Is the question.
Right.
And the answer is let the agent do their job. The people who are doing their job do their job, and trust the process. I know it's not easy, but it again, I'm surprised we haven't seen more of this, but there was an incident recently that kind of raised my alarm on this particular topic. One that was brought up here. Another time, you know, I've seen some things that I kind of was like, no, I don't think we need to do anything more with that Ring camera. So let's not discuss it. You know. So the big thing is that you can't. If they suspect it, you could be in. You can. They are. These files that these devices are on are not particularly safe. I just want to emphasize that they're not. The data that's being stored on the devices are off-site, making it party to another party.
Yeah.
So it can be, by law, subpoenable
absolutely.
to be obtained. So that's important to know. So let's get to the next big thing, which is your favorite.
This is
a fan favorite, the multiple offer situation.
I'm dual license. I've been doing a lot of business in New Jersey. New Jersey is a red hot market. I don't know what's going on in New Jersey.
Well, we'll tell you.
All of the properties that I've sold, I've gotten higher than ask. Okay? And what happens is we'll get maybe 5, 10 offers in writing, ask, above ask. And what happens is that first week when the house goes on the market, these are the homeowners, there's not a lot of inventory out there in the first place. So the buyers are waiting for that perfect home to hit the market. And they're looking for a perfect home. And these are the ready, willing, and able buyers.
RWAs.
Okay? What happens is the house hits the market within an hour or a day or a weekend, you get 10 offers. And let's just say you list the house at $900,000 and you get offers 900, 910, 920, 30, 40. You're in that range. What happens with the homeowner, they get excited and they get a little greedy.
Could get.
And what happens is, well, I got 940, maybe I could get 950 or $1 million. And I'm like, look, this is where we're at. And what happens is they wait and see, well, let's see if I can get a higher offer. Let's see if I can get a higher offer. You wait a day, 2 days, 3 days. That high offer maybe gets frustrated. Let's just say the 940 offer on a $900,000 house. And they put an offer somewhere else. You wait a few days, now you come back, you know what, nothing else can, yeah, we'll take the 940. They're like, no, goodbye, we saw something over the weekend, you didn't get back to us, so guess what, we put an offer on something else. And sometimes you go back, so now you're like, okay, the 940's gone, you go to the 930 or the 925, and they're gone.
Yeah.
And so, don't get greedy when these offers do come in, and again, it may seem easy, it may seem quick, but these are the top of the food chain buyers. These are the cream of the crop. These are the ready, willing, and able. These are the ones that are serious.
These are people that have their house on contract.
They've been working with a realtor for many months.
And they're just kind of waiting for that thing to come
and they're ready to go. They're pre-approved, underwritten, everything.
I think because there's a general expectation too that, you know, when we talk about these, like, it's very enticing to see, because a lot of times people say, well, this happened too fast.
Right.
They feel like the process moved too fast. I'm not getting the value of the service.
What happens,
that I'm
Anthony, they're not
paying
behind
for.
the scenes. They don't see the negotiations that take place behind the scenes.
I think, yeah.
That's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. We show up with the offer. They don't know what took place to get to those numbers.
Well, I mean,
highest
a
and best,
lot
a
of
lot of
things
stuff.
that are considered with that, and I think it's one piece of a lot of pieces. Is like, you know, they see, you know, $30,000 in commissions being paid.
Right.
What it is for those $30,000 commissions to be paid, like where you need to kind of like, where are we getting our value?
Well, I'll answer that. Where we're getting the value is I'm getting my clients higher than, hey, Carrie.
Carrie's going to be doing we're going to be doing, so she's on her way out. We kind of have a studio that's rather small here. So
Yes.
Carrie will be doing the live on
Thursday.
Thursday.
So what happens is
on stats.
Yes.
And I've had it happen where it covers my commission, the commission for the agency, and they get their number anyway.
Yes.
But there's a lot of stuff that goes into our marketing. Why do I get the higher? That's another topic,
Yes.
right, for discussion. But we're talking about buyers. So there's three groups of buyers. We talk about the ready, willing, and able, right? They're ready to go. You put your house on the market. That first week, the top offers come in. Those are the cream of the crop buyers. The ones that have been looking, they're working with a realtor, they're pre-approved. The second or third week, you get into the second group. These are what I call the buyers that go on the third-party websites, Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com. They call an agent, look, I want to see this house. They just started looking. They're not that serious. They may not even be pre-approved yet. So that's the second and third week.
Yeah. That's what we call the B bias.
Then we have the ones that you want to not deal with altogether, which I call, I guess, the hunters. They're waiting. They're like
Hunter territory.
almost like the vulture. It's waiting. You know, it sees that the house has been on the market now 30 days, 45 days, 60 days. They're watching. They're waiting for that house to have a price reduction. So what happens is when you have a hot house and you get these multiple offer situation, that first week, these first offers that came in, those are the top offers. After that, you're gonna get less money for your house. I can promise you. Usually, I always tell the clients, your first offer is your best offer. It's always been the case. And we had situations where, let's just say we had a house at about $1 million, and they, you know, and somebody comes in with an offer of $970, right? Like, nah, you know, maybe see if you could squeeze them. You know, I want $985.
Squeeze them.
Right? And then they're like, oh,
it's
see if you can get me
example.
another $10,000. You know what ends up happening? That $970 offer decides to not go for the $985. They don't accept the counter offer. And then they move on. They go see something else. And then
Yeah.
you lose that.
So to the thousands of dollars being lost, this is a problem that I've unfortunately had to deal with on a number of occasions.
And how much was lost?
On average, I mean, I've seen a lot of these things lose between
30 to 50,000?
Yeah, I mean, on a good, yeah, I definitely think that what happens is the hesitation on the first offer is the fear is palpable. So they're naturally they're anxious about the process and the realization that like how did I get here so fast? And I do think that's something you have to address when you first get into that listing appointment and you first get in. It's like, let's manage our expectations here. You know, the minute you sign this contract and we put this house on the market, you need to be ready to do what you need to do from that minute moving forward. And that means, yes, every deal that you have, every piece of paper with an offer is the only thing that exists. You must act with that in mind when it comes to dealing with offer situations and multiple offer situations.
Right, I had that happen.
Deal or some situation where there is no offers. It comes in fast. people will wait, excuse me, people will wait and they'll assume that there's something better if we wait. And that is just a very, very bad strategy. I've seen this fail miserably on too many occasions. I understand people say, well, I paid this much, I'm paying this much in commission. Like, do more. That means maybe my house is worth more, but you adequately describe those pools. It's the RWAs, the ready, willing, and ables. So what happens is you're going to get the focus on that group, which is much more inclined. No, properties on the market more than a month, they start to get the idea of nobody wants it. I'm going to tell this for buyers too. Both buyers and sellers, there's too much presumption.
You touched on something that I want to go back on.
Let me just finish this one thing about
offers have to be in writing,
yes.
like you were saying.
Let me just finish this one point that I just needed. If you're a buyer and you see something you like, someone else likes the house.
Absolutely.
So you need to go in, and I always said this to everybody, I've been doing this for 18 years. One of the biggest things you see in the pitfalls of real estate is, I saw 5 houses, I'm not sure, maybe there's something better, and then they regretfully pass up on a house because again, the process seems too fast for them. Meanwhile, they passed up on what they truly liked in all their categories, all their strengths, and they try to over-negotiate,
yep.
Try to
play games.
Yeah.
I've had that happen.
And it's like, you need to understand, if you like the house, at the price you're looking at, maybe within a range, chances are someone else does too. You need to focus on think about it from one house, one moment, one time.
And you have to understand the market.
Think of just, if the agent's smart, they'll help you understand.
Sometimes, look, I'll tell another example, New Jersey. We have clients, we have a hot house. They see people coming in and out at the showings every 15 minutes. They know it's a hot house. They know we have multiple offers. They write a review, their feedback. Oh, well, my client is somewhat interested, but they need a new kitchen, and they don't like the tiles in the bathroom, and it's going to cost them, I don't know, $30,000, $40,000 to do that, and they want to try to chew you down. That's not a good tactic on a hot house. This is a house that's going to get multiple offers, and I've seen it happen, and I told the agent, we have multiple offers on the house, so highest and best. All of a sudden, they see the pressure, and they come back. They come back, oh, we'll give you a full ask. No, and they passed on it. They didn't act on it. They waited 3-4 days. And like you said, if you like the house, someone else is going to like the house.
Yeah.
Also, we have sometimes the agents will talk to the homeowner, which I don't recommend that homeowners
should not
talk to the buyer's agent.
Yeah.
Because anything you say can and will be used against you. And the homeowner listens to the agent. They say, oh, you know what? My client said the mother-in-law has to come back Thursday, and then we're going to give you an offer. We're going to give you full ask, or we're going to give you higher than asking. It's not in writing. So now what happens is my sellers stall. They say, wait a minute. That agent said they're going to come back Thursday, and they're going to... So I said, okay, well, wait. Thursday comes, crickets. They changed their mind. So I always tell my clients, unless it's in writing, unless I have a piece of paper with a pre-approval and proof of funds, and it's serious, I don't care if an agent tells me they're going to give me $200,000 above asking. They can tell me whatever they're going to tell me verbally, and I don't pay that any mind. Submit everything in writing. That's what I tell them. I say to my clients, this is all I have right now. Let's focus. I don't care about that offer that may or may not come in because it's not in writing. And it happens all the time. And they throw you off. So now you wait, and they stall you, and that other offer that's been waiting, that's a good offer, maybe it's above asking, now they get frustrated, and they go and they put an offer on something else, and while you had them wait for those 2, 3, 4 days, they found something else that they liked, and they put another offer. And then you go back, Oh, wow, okay, we'll accept your offer. No, well, that ship sailed. Not good. I was that type of buyer, by the way.
I've heard.
Because
You've told me the story.
I would go in, I put a solid offer in, and if they don't get back to me, I tell the agent, you know what, let's go back out. I want to look at other houses. And if I found something else I like, guess what? Another offer is going in.
I think the big thing is that when you're doing this, it's understanding the process, trusting the people you deal with, and trusting the fact that you have to have, if you do not have that established trust in the relationship with your agent, you're going to make some mistakes here. And if that can't be obtained in the first few meetings with them, and you're selling the house and you're not connecting, like, you got to make sure you check on everything prior to going on the market, see if you vibe with these people, see if you have a clear understanding. And sometimes it's the people who tell you what you don't want to hear more than it's the people that tell you that do. And it's so important that you don't tie yourself emotionally to the idea. Yes, I hear so many people make this decision on agents. Like, well, he talked up my house, and this is the no.
He said he could get me $100,000 more.
It's off the reservation. You're not doing the homework, or the problem is that you want to be hyped up on things, and that's okay to be hyped up on it, to sell something. I get it, but it comes down to the fundamentals, and sometimes those things may not come across as clearly as the way you want to hear, as much as I think you should hear and like kind of address, because the things that you're not speaking about is the things that are going to be the problem down the road. And it's like, well, it wasn't mentioned that this was going to be a problem when the house was going on the market. Well, guess what? When you got the feedback, the person who was busy hyping everything up and not telling you what the problems were, overlooked those things as being a factor, and now it's coming to you. Because at the end of the day, what they really want to do is list the property. They don't want to tell the truth about what needs to be done. And that there's certain things that are needed and certain things that are not. And you have to trust, some of the judgment calls for a multitude of reasons.
We do this all the time.
Most people do. Not everybody.
Most people buy or sell a house maybe once, twice in their lifetime.
Yes.
Okay. I do this every other week. Mm-hmm. So we have a lot of experience. And sometimes, I hate to use the word micromanage, but you have the sellers that want to micromanage. Oh, what about an open house? Put it in the local newspaper.
We talked about that in another live. I think we talked about it in the last live about open houses, how it's like...
my opinion of open houses.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's like, it's just 2% of all houses sell to an open house, which is probably the least effective method of marketing. But people want to do something that's in regards to saying that they're doing something for the homeowner. Really comes down to, I do believe the marketing spends that are being done on the house is very key to whether a person's going to get more. They're working in your on your best behalf, is to make sure that those things are being done. Ask the question. I always tell people to ask the question: how much is going to be invested in the sale of my house? And that's a very key question. How much is it going to cost you to sell my house? And that's something that's left off the table.
They never asked me that question.
Yeah. If you're going to pay
what everyone asks?
$20,000 to sell a house, well, what's your investment? $30,000. What's your investment in the process?
Don't ask.
This is, and you're going to get those kind of side looks, because a lot of agents will not be able to justify necessarily what that exactly entails. But there are things that really do go into the cost. You have to ask the right questions and you'll get the right answers. And I do think that one of the things is how much of the effort. Now, some people are very, very good at marketing themselves much more than they are marketing the properties.
I never, it's interesting that you say that. I never talk about myself.
I think it's part of the process.
I can tell you what I've sold over the last few months.
You can't just focus on the fact.
I focus on the house. I tell the people, I don't care about the house on the block or across the street. Let's talk about your house.
Let's put it this way. Your agent photo shouldn't be professionally done, and your house photos shouldn't be. So, that is part of the marketing. And you see it, though.
Well, I'm a horrible photographer. I would never go and take pictures with my camera phone. for a client's home and
good
put
thing.
that out there.
Although camera phones are getting really good
They're
these
good,
days.
but you know what? We have the professional photographer. Let him do the photos. Let me be the realtor. Let me sell the house.
And
That's what I do.
Just focus on those things because I think that's important.
The drone pilot flies a drone.
Mhm.
The video public relations director talks on camera, and the photographer takes the photos. Each person has their role. They're a professional in their
So everybody does the.
and without them, I would not be able to do what I do. So it's a team.
Yes, and it does take a team to sell a house in this market, and it's very changeable. So I want you to keep in mind that these things are very changeable. Make sure you understand the process. Ask questions. Ask them here if you need to, and we'll get to you, and we'll definitely get you some answers into what you may need to know about what it takes to sell in this market. Some people are doing very well, and other people aren't. And this market is extremely volatile, so I do beg people to listen to what's happening with the market. We try to give updates as quickly as possible. Trends happen faster than most people are able to respond to. So it's very important. We're in the process of delivering more real-time information about general market conditions that's easier for people to kind of surmise. So, if you check out our Facebook page, we're going to be doing more summaries, which is like quick overviews, and keeping up to date with the trends, because these trends develop rapidly before anybody knows it. And we talked about this in a previous live.
House.
We talked about this in a previous live about putting your house on the market for the right reasons. People wait for the market, or they wait for indicators to go somewhere, and it's already past that point where it actually makes sense to do. Or they put their house fundamentally out of range of where it may be priced.
Well, that's I always call that marketing 101. Yeah. 101.
But that's a whole other topic that I wish my wife is going to make sure that I go to dinner. So keeping this in the context is it's always fun, and we'll be doing these. I like to do these on more Mondays. I think one of the agent Mike wants to do one for next week.
Lovely.
And then obviously a typical mainstay of the live crew here is Vic, who's been on this. This is a number of times already.
I mean, I enjoy giving people information. They call me sometimes for sale by owners.
People are gonna know you. They know you
And sometimes my wife or people say, "Why are you giving them information for free?" And I don't mind if somebody's not a client. Yeah, sometimes they're like,
Don't worry, we have a good secret bank in the back pocket. It's right here.
And that's even if they're not a client, that's how I build relationships. You know what?
Just ask the right questions and ask them.
And I have no problem. They want to ask me a question, I'll answer a question, even if they're not a client. It's not a problem.
And that's how you build relationships. And that's what's important. But like I say, like always, trust the process with the right trust of the agent. So just make sure you're dealing with this person, that you have a level of trust that makes sense, and look at everything in the details. The devil is in the details. Make sure we get that as part of your.
Well, we go over a lot of those expectations when we have that first initial meeting with the client.
Yes, the expectation
about the magic number of $5,000. We always bring that up.
And you can see all those. Keep watching those lives. You'll see a bunch of this stuff. You have a bunch of stuff all the time. Some of it's entertaining, some of it's goofy, some of it's informative, and some of it's nonsensical. But we always have a good time doing it. Hopefully, at least there's an entertainment value. But anyway, regardless, we're always happy to do these lives. Hopefully, we'll touch on some, search back. We'll get the live. We're gonna, the ring thing is very big. We did talk about some of the buyer stuff to sum this up. Make sure you check that out. And it's going to be available on YouTube, right? YouTube. We do them on
Hulu?
No. She's obviously not paying attention to me.
Instagram and YouTube.
Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, obviously. TikTok? You can see our live. We don't do a full lives on TikTok. No, not yet. I don't think we can. Right? Is that the case?
Soon. Almost there.
Almost there. But we still, oh yes, we're working on that. But anyway, that's all we have for tonight. And I wish you have a great night. We'll be seeing you again on Thursday with the stat update. Okay, so we'll take it from there, folks. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
And we'll see you on Thursday. Take care.